Alright, everybody, welcome back to another Destiny 2 TWAB, aka Where TWAB, aka This Week at Bungie. I am joined once again alongside Pistachio.
Yo,
Brother Tyrant is not here for this one, but regardless, we will just start right in. So, they want to talk about dungeons and raids. So they're like, it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons if you squint one eye and close the other. So before diving into what's next for activities like raids and dungeons, they wanted to shout out the players that can finally take Rolk's kick to the face on an even higher ferocity because Master Vow of the Disciple is dropping next week. For the deets regarding the ramped up difficulties, Guardians should know that the power level is 1580 with a seasonal cap at plus 30. So for those challenge hardy players, completing challenges at master difficulty will offer progress towards the raid seal. Each encounter completed also has the chance to drop an adept version of a given weapon for the raid. It's a neat way to ante up a bit and take on a more challenging aspect of Destiny 2. They say the Master Vow of the Disciple drops next week on April 19th, and make sure to knock out any leveling needed and get that gear in tip-top shape because the master difficulty is never something to take lightly. So it looks like it's the same difficulty as Grandmaster Nightfalls in terms of power level. You will obviously only be able to get to 1560 plus your artifact, which looks like it does cap at plus 30. So after plus 30, it won't actually help you any further in the raid. So, which I guess would make you 1590. So, which 1580 also I would imagine is where is potentially just the beginning section. So when you get to the boss, it actually very well could be 1600. So you are that 10 levels under to give you that extra level of difficulty. So you're not at any point in time like over leveled. The only time I guess you would be is if you are plus 30 artifact for like the first encounter realistically. But because that's usually how it is. But that does sound pretty tough. So all of you players that are going out for that, good luck. I know you guys will do it. He said, but wait, there is more. As players to continue to exploring the throne world and uncover the true nature of the Witness's influence, we've heard your desire for reasons to return to previously released raid and dungeon content loud and clear. One way that they're freshening up the raid and dungeon experience in Destiny 2 is by developing a new rotation of featured content that they think we'll like starting in Season 17, which is next season. They said this is designed to make raid and dungeon content a bit more enticing over the course of a season, while also providing more ways to play when jumping into different activities with friends and clanmates. Essentially, they're breaking up their new rotator system into seasonal and weekly categories, so that players can have a little additional freshness when taking on the weekly hunt for power. Let's start with the seasonal rotation, since this implementation is short and sweet. Each season, the newly released raid and dungeon will grant pinnacle rewards for all encounters. As an example, in Season 17, Vow of the Disciple and the upcoming Redacted dungeon, outside of these, we'll have a raid rotator and a dungeon rotator, each offering a pinnacle reward once completed. For those wondering about the weekly rotation, this particular inclusion will have a chance to feature all raids and dungeons not listed as the seasonal rotation. Want to revisit the Vex in the Garden of Salvation? Do it. Want to go toe-to-toe with Riven because you like to feel hungry for that wildly impressive and stressful as all heck players like you're prone to panic final encounter? Weird, but get on with your brave and light-driven self and get that bread. They say rewards. What's different there? For the weekly rotation, completing the final encounter in any of the chosen raids or dungeons will award a pinnacle drop from a weekly challenge. For any raid or dungeon that offers a higher difficulty, such as a Master Vault of Glass, that higher difficulty will also be available to select should players be itching for an additional challenge. Oh, and you said you liked farming? Well, we've got you there too with the new rotator system. So all lockouts on encounter rewards for legendary gears are being removed, which means all legendary drops in both raids and dungeons will be 100% farmable if you so choose. throw on some lo-fi music, grab a cozy beverage, and farm to your heart's content, or don't. The choice is yours. That is awesome. That was something I know in Destiny 1 that was an absolute plus for the community. They loved the added rotation of the raids, so having the other raids and dungeons come back into play and just offer a pinnacle and something a bit more, especially if it's more target farmable, I think is absolutely the way to go, because everyone's basically just running Vow of the Disciple, and it's let's only go run the Garden of Salvation if we feel like getting this specific weapon or whatever. But like now you can just run it because you enjoy it, and you're also going to get a pinnacle. So I think this is a great addition. What do you think?
See how it plays out.
See how it plays out. That's fair.
Yeah. Like, I don't. My trust has been lost in farming.
I hear you on that one. You have possibly not even possibly, you 100% have the worst RNG I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, so for Destiny, it's actually crazy. You say what's coming next? They got some patch note previews. They are hitting that mid-season mark, which means it's time to do a little housekeeping. They're tackling a little neat and little fail-safe for players who are carrying objects for the Wellspring attack, and some fine-tuning to Rolk and his ilk in the Vow of Disciple raid to take on a few more Gambit challenges to continue making the Drifter proud. They've said they've got a small patch preview to share, nothing major, but now there are a few tweaks coming down the pipeline, and this is going to go live later this month on April 19th, which is next week. So for the Wellspring attack, they're fixing an issue that could cause teams to incorrectly wipe during a Master Wellspring when an objective is completed with only a few seconds left on the timer. Added a failsafe so that the carryable objects in both the ritual and boss phases of the Wellspring won't spawn out of bounds. For the Altar of Reflection, fix an issue where players could not complete the Evidence Board quest report Altar Reflect due to the Altar of Reflection not showing up properly. More like Altar of Reappearance. I see what they did there. They said Vow of the Disciple raid. Fixed an issue where Rolk would suddenly become shy and no longer transition back into his initial phase properly, effectively blocking progress. And fixed an issue where the Caretaker's dynamic health threshold UI would not consistently display for all players. I love how they worded this, saying would suddenly become shy and no longer transition back into its initial phase. But instead of saying he wouldn't go back into the he wouldn't do the animation he was supposed to and go back into damage phase. I love that. Trials of Osiris fixed an issue where players were not receiving the expected rewards on post-flawless wins. That's a very polite way of putting it. Basically, if you didn't know, last week you could turn in flawed passages, so ones that you had lost, and still turn them in for a flawless Adept Shire's Wrath. I actually didn't take advantage of that myself, but whatever. I already have a pretty good Shire's Wrath anyway, so I wasn't really super worried about it. I although I know that Adept mod slot would have been fairly nice, but yeah, it was pretty funny that they were essentially handing them out. Bungie knew about it and they said, "Go ahead, deal with. We're not fixing it until next week, so have fun." These issues, these things also aren't going live until the 19th. So this weekend's trials, you could probably still do this, though. You'll probably still be able to turn in your flawless passages for an adept weapon, because it says that you can look forward to what these are before they go live on April 19th. So yeah, these aren't coming out till next Tuesday. So whatever the weapon is this week, turn in your flawed passages, because you'll still get an adept version of it. So you might as well take advantage of it while you can. Bungie's even giving you the okay, so nothing to even worry about. Moving on, though, we got text chat. They said a virtual keyboard support is now available for console text chat. That's awesome. They said improvement has been made to make text chat messages more legible, and they added a system message text field that is italicized to display system text. Sorry, it's italicized, not itilized. That's my mistake. I've never even seen that word before, so we learn something new every day, folks. They say local chat now has an orange tint for its differentiation, no longer the white color. and a clearer chat color distinction for in-game colorblind settings. So that's good that they're making it more applicable for players. Console players can now finally chat with and type in stuff with the PC players. However, bringing up a a virtual keyboard and going over and clicking each individual key is quite ridiculous. I don't know if those old keyboard things that you used to be able to plug into the controllers would still work. I don't think they work on the new console and the new X Series X and S. I don't even think it actually
so long.
Yeah, and I don't even think they actually have the slot for them anymore, unless it just plugged into like the auxiliary. But I thought it plugged into like the bottom where the mic piece kind of used to go on the OG controllers. But yeah, like it's I don't think it's going to be actually super easy. It's going to, especially in a raid, it's going to take a very long time to pop up and to go. Unless you do have a keyboard plugged in to your console, which I know some players do, and you can only use it for typing and chat. You can't use it to play. So you just have an extra keyboard beside you so you can do a quick type, which would be pretty solid. But that's if you can.
I don't know, like. You fail a section and like you just go through the effort of typing it out. Like you're in a raid, it's not. I mean, like you're not overly time limited.
Yeah, I hear you.
So like the fact that it would take a console player, whatever, X amount of time to type out everything they need to say.
Well, I meant more so for like call outs, I guess. Like if we're doing the Valid Disciple,
yeah,
and I'm like it's light side orange block. I need to type out light orange block. This might take too long if you're just on a controller. So.
Yeah, I don't like. Honestly, like if PC players do that, like that's just messed up.
They do. They stop real quick, hit enter for the text box, and we'll type in whatever the call out is, so it's on the screen.
Just go and get yourself a mic.
Well, no, they have the mic, but because the things get called out and there's chatter all the time, it's just to help clear up some of the clutter so you can still have it there on the screen. It just helps people find. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like you also just have a mic, just say it. There's too much chatter. Mm-hmm. Tell people to tone it down or in the raid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also get it. Like you're just also like if you're just having a raid, having fun and shooting the shit and whatnot. And when you've done it so often, it becomes secondhand nature just to hit enter, type it in real quick, and hit enter again. Like the videos I've seen of people or the streams I've seen of people doing it, like they do it so fast it's pretty crazy. Like they're very quick at typing. So, but moving on, they say we have weapon crafting. They said added a consumable item that allows viewing of element counts. They said this can be acquired through the relic conduit. It is not a limited item, and you can discard and reacquire it at any time. They say artifact. Players with all 25 artifact mods unlocked can still reset the artifact, no additional glimmer cost. Once all 25 artifact mods are unlocked, reset from there. From that point, are free. I don't know why you need to reset it. You have everything unlocked. But sure. They said, abilities. Fixed an issue where the Devourer would sometimes grant less buff time if multiple targets were killed in quick succession. And added aim assist targeting to the enemy Axion Bolt's secondary projectiles to help players hit bolts that are chasing themselves and fellow allies. The upcoming patch will also tackle notable stability issues and crash fixes, Xur's wonky stats for his wares, and Raoul's destination materials for sale will resume rotating at reset. These are just a few of the tweaks players can expect, and when the patch notes and items go live on April 19th. Moving on from there.
I'm a little confused about the consumable to show us how many weapon crafting.
It says that allows viewing of element counts for weapon crafting. I feel like your element counts, I think, are like how many crafting materials you're holding at a time, because you can't just go into your inventories and see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like it would have been acceptable just to have it like seen at the whatever the crafting place. You mean like when you go to it, like just to have it list all of your ones like on the top of the screen?
Yeah, I think people just want it
Like,
for like when they're not in the enclave, when they're just out and about, or if they pick up a red weapon, it's like, can I just delete it immediately? Do I need the crafting materials, or can I
well,
actually use some of the crafting material?
it shows you how many you have when you go to redeem it. Like,
Yeah, when you go to redeem it, once it's at 100%. But like, if I just pick up a brand new one that's been unused, do I have to? It's like, do I have to bother filling it out to 100%, or can I just, because it's a bad roll, can I just delete it because I don't care, and I don't need the material? I think it's kind of what this is for.
mm. Yeah, I don't know. I'd even have to double check that, like, because I feel like it might even just show you before, but I don't know.
I feel like it's some of them it does, but not all of them. It, like, for this very specific ones it drops, it does, but those are irrelevant
Yeah.
because you don't use those, basically. So
I don't know.
yeah, we'll have to see. They say here the player support report. It's that time of the week again. So for Xbox PC Game Pass, as of April 11th, Destiny 2 and its expansions, Forsaken Pack, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light, left the Game Pass for PC in the Microsoft Store. Players who were accessing the Destiny 2 DLCs through the Xbox PC Game Pass will now need to purchase them to maintain access to the expansions. They say too many messages. As of April 14th, 2022, changes in the in-game text chat have been implemented, effectively adjusting a recent change that causes players to run into too many messages alerts earlier than expected. This has been corrected to allow for more time to use in-game communication, which will help allow for Fireteam messages to run more efficiently, especially during instances like the Valve Disciple raid where multiple callouts are necessary. They say next Tuesday, April 19th, Destiny will be brought down for maintenance once as usual for the 4.0.1 update. It goes down at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or it begins at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Destiny will be brought offline at 9:45. The update will begin rolling out at 10, and the back-end maintenance will finish at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and at 10 a.m. when the update is out, you should be able to go back online as well once you've done the update. Below is a list of known issues that are scheduled to be resolved within the 4.0.1 update. The Synaptic Fanatic Triumph doesn't trigger on all characters. The Lucent Executioners in the Throne World are not rotating daily and have been stuck in the Fluorescent Canal, blocking the Ascendant Bounty Hunter Triumph. The Combo Tracker and Wombo Tracker Ghost mods do not track the Throne World chests. The newness Sheen on gear persists permanently. The seasonal curated shotgun Reckless Endangerment can't be reacquired from collections after dismantling it. And the Warlock Devour Timer isn't consistent when killing multiple enemies over killing a single enemy. Yeah, I was wondering about the Lucent Executioners one because I was trying to do some of this for the bounty and it was just not working. So that explains it right there. The Cleaver Emblem grant. They are currently working to grant the Cleaver Emblem to players who completed the Valve Disciple raid during the contest mode expansion. Players who qualified for the emblem can expect to receive it during the week of April 19th, which is next week. Say missing emails. There are some lingering issues about players not getting emails. Even when going through the troubleshooting steps they've listed here, the team is still looking into the issue and are actively tackling the problem head on. They will provide an update on the next steps for emails as soon as they know them. For a full list of issues, go to the known issues article. And if you have any issues, please feel free to report them at the #help forum. Moving on from there, we have the movies of the week that we usually have again, which is absolutely fantastic, including another freestyle with the Titan from Amaze, which absolutely fantastic member of the Destiny 2 community. We have the artists of the week, which are always fantastic. We have some cool ones with the Mechs here. A lot of Team Mechs versus Team Monsters stuff going on. And and the creation of the Disciple one, that's actually really cool too. And as we are pulling to the end of the TWAB here, they say the results are in. One last thing before we let y'all go. We've got monsters, we've got mechs, but who was the ultimate winner? Recently, they shared a poll that players could partake in and deciding what sort of armor ornament would be added at the ready when the Festival of the Lost rolls around later this year. Monsters were up for grabs for the second year in a row, but it looks like the mech design was what truly captured the Guardians' hearts around the globe. Let's break it down. Team Mech won by a hair with 52% of the votes, but don't count out Team Monster because they came in like a wrecking ball with 48%. That is a lot closer than I was initially expecting. I was initially expecting a landslide again, but then after seeing a lot of the love from the monsters, aside from the hunters being like, I need that cloak, I did see a lot of Titans and Warlocks also saying that they really did enjoy those, and they weren't actually a big fan of some of the Gundam mech stuff. So, but regardless, the Mechs won. We're getting our Gundams, and I'm very excited. Also, please keep in mind that these are concept arts, so the final design in game may have a slight variation. The armor that we got for the dinos was slightly altered from the concept art, so just please do keep that in mind. They say as they rapidly approach the next part of the story as the Season of the Risen continues, they're excited to reveal what's next for the Guardians and the corresponding shenanigans. Keep it tuned here for the weekly TWAB for more info on what's coming down the pipeline, including more weapon changes, new Gambit labs, and more. But until next time, stay kind, drink lots of water. I will absolutely attest to that. Hydration is key. And go out there and do some good in the world this week. Catch you guys on the flip side. And that does it. There was a nice, short, and sweet TWAB this week. Nothing too much in it, but again, some good changes. So, any final thoughts that you'd like to go over there?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Well, everybody, looks like that will do it for the TWAB this week. Once again, it was a pretty short one, but we went over everything, and we already talked about it, so just feel free to go back and scrub through and see which part of it you might like to take a look at. But that'll do it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, it'd be absolutely wonderful if you could hit that like button, and please do consider subscribing to the channel for more content in the future. But until next time, have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day, and as always, stay hydrated, as hydration is key.
Take it easy.